Friends, my name is Venkatesh Madke and welcome to my channel. Friends, in this video, we are going to talk about international business from Indian business point of view or Indian manufacturer's point of view. Friends, I'm working in international business since 2015. That means I'm having near about 10 years of the experience in international business. So what are the factors, what are the things which we need to take care when it comes to the international business development? That's what we are going to see one by one. The first and foremost is understand local market needs. What I mean is that if you see region wise international business, it categorizes mainly 4 5 regions. That means European region, Latin American region, Middle East, CIS countries, and APAC region. These are the five major regions which is potential for Indian manufacturers point of view. Yes, there is African region, but African region is mainly potential for the pharmaceutical industry. Since I'm working in the medical devices industry, so let's see from that point of view, medical device industry point of view. If you see, friends, the potential market for medical device industry is the European market and the Latin American market, because they as such don't have the industry. They don't have manufacturing capacity, manufacturing plants in the European region and the Latin American region. So the 60-70% of their medical device need comes from India, either from India or either from the USA or either from the China. But if you compare region wise, then the US products are the costly. Yes, definitely they have higher quality, but they are the costly. They will not work in the price sensitive market. Whereas if you see the Chinese product are cheap, but quality wise they are compromised. But if you see the Indian products are having quality with the affordable cost. So world prefer the Indian products when it comes to the medical device particularly. So we need to understand the local market needs. That means if I'm an Indian manufacturer, I need to understand what is their need. For example, what type of products they need, like European, what type of European countries they need a product, what type of products Latin American people needs, what type of products Middle East people needs. So I need to understand the need of the market. The next is build a strong distribution network. Friends, this whole international business work on distribution model. That means you need to appoint a distributor, you need to appoint a business partner in that particular country, and through that distribution, through that business partner, you run your business. So there are so many factors we need to consider while appointing distributors that we are going to see in the upcoming talk. The second is the trust overweight transactions. That means over the period of time you develop trust with your business partner. Trust cannot be developed overnight. Trust cannot be developed in a one day or 1 week. That's a ongoing process. You appoint your business partner, you start with a small PO, then gradually $5,000, $10,000 PO, you gradually increase the trust with your business partner. But over the time you need to develop that trust. How you are going to develop that trust, we'll see. Adapt pricing strategy to market economics. As I told you in my opening remark, there are different market have different pricing. I mean, same pricing strategy will not will not work in the same market. For example, if you are offering one product in Europe, let's say for $100, that means Latin American market will have different pricing. You may get extra pricing, you may get more pricing in the Latin American market, but at the same time if you are going to the CIS countries, you will get less pricing. So the same pricing strategy will not work in the all market. So different market will have different pricing. So you need to understand the market pricing. How you are going to understand the market pricing? During your meeting with the distributor, you need to ask some questions like what is the price of this particular product in your market. Distributor may say $500, $400. At the same time, you need to ask the proof. What is the proof? Can you show me the tender documentation? Can you show me the competitor invoice? So by looking at the tendering document, by looking at the competitor invoice, you will understand what exact is the pricing of that particular market, and depend upon that you can develop your pricing strategy. The next is the regulatory affairs. Friends, regulatory affairs is very important. How I look at regulatory affairs is the regulatory affairs is the opening door. Without opening door, you cannot enter in that particular market. So you need to understand the need of regulatory affairs requirement of that particular country. If you are doing business in European countries need CE certification, they need clinical trials, they need some DOC, they need some declaration, they need some authorization of the letter of authorization, they need labels. So you need to understand the list of requirements, list of documents. If you are doing business in, let's say, in US market, they have FDA requirements. So you need to understand country to country regulatory requirement, and you need to fulfill that in order to register your product in particular country. The next is cultural sensitivity. Different region will have different culture. Middle East, they follow Muslim or Muslim culture, or Muslim the spiritual ethos. European will follow the Christian. So different countries will have different cultural sensitivity, because in business, or behind every business, there are human behavior, human emotions are involved. So when you are dealing with human, you need to understand their culture, you need to understand. I'm not saying that follow their culture, I'm not saying that practice their religion, but respect that culture, and then they should feel that okay, the next person, the person which I'm doing business with, that person is respecting my culture, which is very important while you are dealing with the international clients. Second is localized market material. Friends, is or if you see my experience last 10 years, that very few countries speaks English. That means US, Canada, UK, these are the few countries speak English, but most of countries, they prefer their local language. For example, if you want to do business in Russia, they prefer Russian language. If you want to do business in Germany, they prefer German. If you want to do business in the Spain, they speak Spanish. So you need to translate your marketing material into different language, at least major 8 to 10 languages, which will give you the big impact on your sale. The next is quality. What I mean is that you cannot do business, international business especially, without low quality. If you want to have a good business or long term business, or if you are thinking for a long term business, then you should give quality products to the international market. We all know that Chinese product don't have quality. That's the reason they, or we as a customer, we don't pay big or high value for the Chinese products. So thinking about long term business, you need to improve, you need to consider the quality of your products. That's very important. The currency risk. Majorly you are working on two major currencies, either euro or either dollar. But even while you are working with that two major currency, you need to understand the currency fluctuation. For example, if you see last 5 years, Turkey example, for example, if you see the Turkey currency last 5 years, it was $1 is equal to 10 Turkish dollar or Turkish currency. Now for even a single $1, you need to pay 25 Turkish currency. That means the currency fluctuation or the gap between local currency and the dollar is huge. So while doing business, you need to understand that point also. The next is you need to build strong service after sales, strong service. That means once you sell the product, you need to take care the secondary sales. How you are going to take care of the secondary sales? You need to develop the relation with the end user. That means your doctors. So who you need to understand. I'm not saying that you meet all doctors, but you need to understand who are your key opinion leaders. Visit some major hospital, understand their needs, take their opinion into the consideration, and help. So do help to the distributor to liquidate the secondary. The second important part is the inventory. So you need to understand the inventory management, or you need to teach the inventory management to the distributor. That means, okay, these are the sizes which you have stock, piled up stock with your inventory. So you need to liquidate that inventory within some period of time. So that's again comes under the after sales. The second is that giving training and development to the distributor salesperson, because as a manufacturer we know our product better. So you need to give the training regularly to the distributor person in order to understand your product well, to that particular salesperson, because they are going to meet the end user, not you, right? So you need to give the training and the development to the that particular distributor person. The second is that marketing. You need to understand what market dynamics that particular country has. Let's say France has different market dynamics, Spain has different market dynamics, Poland will have different market dynamics. Either East Europe, if you go to the East Europe, Hungary will have different market dynamics. So as a global business development senior person, you need to understand business dynamics, and you need to teach that business dynamics to the marketing person which is working in that particular distribution company. The second is that focus on long-term contract. Once you understand your right business partner, once you understand your distributor, you need to sign long-term business contract with that particular person. uh, because every year you cannot keep changing your distributor. Every year you cannot find new distributor. Once you find your right business partner, then focus on developing that particular business partner. Focus on increase his business of particular business partner. So in order to do that, you need to sign long term contract with that business partner. So always think for the long term when it comes to the international business. Again, here one point I wanted to add. See, if you see the international business, 80% of international business runs on the tender base. That means they win the tender and they supply your products to that particular tender. So most of tenders either minimum for the 3 years or maximum for the 5 years. So if you are not signing agreement with that particular distributor at least for the 5 years, how he is going to participate in that tender, and how he is going to supply your products in that tender. So you need to sign your distributionship agreement at least for the 5 years. The next is that global trade fair. That means conferences. You need to attend global conferences. In our medical device industry, there are so many conferences happens in the Paris, happens in USA, happen in Latin America, happen in Spain. So you need to understand 5-6 major conferences. There are in Germany as well, and you need to attend that particular conferences. By doing that, you meet a real customer, you meet a end user, you meet different people, you meet new business partner. So this is the one place where you can within 4 to 5 days you can meet minimum 100 people on one particular platform, and you can explore your business, you can explore your expand your business reach at one platform. So attend conferences, global conferences is very important, or attending global conferences is very important. The next is create local partnership. What I mean is that you need to have at least 1 or 2 local partners. It may be regulatory partner, it may be documentation translation partner, it may be some consultant who can help you to understand the business, who can help you to appoint a new distributor if you are launching new products, etc. The next is supply chain efficiency. It's very important. Once distributor or business partner shares the purchase order or PO, your supply chain should act very aggressively, very promptly. Within a 4 to 5 hours, your supply chain should share the required document, that is performa invoice, the payment terms, and then packaging list. If any, at the same time, if that particular country has certain, you know, I mean to say that certain laws, that means you need to label in a Spanish, you need to label in a German language. So your supply chain need to understand that regulation, and your supply chain need to fulfill that requirements. So your supply chain plays very important role in international business development. The next is comply with export import laws. So there are certain export import laws which your company need to understand while you are exporting. That means once you export, you cannot take it back. If you are exporting, that every documents and every product has same information. It should not that you are supplying some different brand name and your documentation has some different brand name. It happens actually. Your supply chain needed to, or your logistic team need to take care of that. The next is develop a global pricing strategy. So uh, here we say the reverse calculation. That means if you are supplying, if you are expanding your business in European countries, you need to set this pricing strategy. Okay, this is the standard price that European market has, so we can offer this much price. Talking about Latin American market, okay, this is the Latin American pricing offers other competitors, and this is our pricing. Below this we will not go. So you need to understand the local pricing, pricing, and depend upon that you need to set your pricing strategy. The next is communication is everything, friends. Prompt communication. For example, if your business partner is asking regulatory documents, be prompt to submit that documents within a day or within a 2 days. If you're not submitting, if you're not having some documents or it taking some time, then inform, communicate is very important. Prompt communication is very important when it comes to the international business development part. The next is data for the market expansion. During our internal meetings, most of domestic senior people, they ask how you meet your business partner, how you find actually your business partner, how you find your end user, how you find the key people. So that's is the data, because we develop that data, everything. Before entering, before visiting that country, we have data in our hand: business partner data, end user data, conference data, holiday list data, the country mapping, country currency, geography of that country, geopolitical things of that country. So we have tons of data before entering that country, and depend upon that data analysis, we take the decisions. We travel to that country, we meet the customer, we appoint the customer, we meet the end user, we participate to the conferences. So everything works on the data which we have. So data is the oil in the international business. The next is trademark internationally. Registered trademark internationally, that's a part of a regulatory regulatory affairs. So once you appoint a business partner, they do the registration of your trademark. So you need to understand, you need to supply the proper documentation, and then he will register your trademark in that particular country. The next is global logistic. That means, for example, if you're having many products, if let's say if you're having 25 products, and it's not easy to export every product every time to, let's say, European countries, Latin American countries. In that situation, what happens, most of big countries, they have logistic or carry forwarding carry forwarding channel in that particular country. For example, if you are doing business in Europe, open one carry forwarding C&F or big warehouse in European region, let's say in the Poland or Germany, and through that carry forwarding office you supply to the entire European region. Same goes for the Latin American. You can have in Brazil or in Mexico. Through that warehouse you can supply to the various Latin American countries, which is easy. You can save the tax as well, because you are exporting that particular country, you need to pay only one time tax. Then in a region you don't have to pay the tax, so you can save 20% of the tax. The next is understand local tax structure, which I was talking about. You need to understand different countries have different tax. European countries have near about 18 to 20% of the tax. Latin Americans will have 30 to 40% of the tax. So you need to understand the local tax system, and depend upon that you can decide your pricing strategy. For example, the if you need to pay, or if you are paying more tax, then you can charge more to that particular end user. If you are paying less tax, then you can charge less. But you need to understand the local tax system during your meeting with that particular business partner. Digital platform, leverage digital platform is very important, because for example, if I'm responsible for 50 countries, it's not easy to communicate at the same time with that 50 country business partner. So what I do is that I utilize the digital platform like Zoom meetings. Wherever I require Zoom meeting, if I want to make presentation to sales team, by Zoom meeting, by video call, I can make the sales presentation. If I wanted to give training to any Mexican distribution people, that by using the video call I give the training. So leverage digital platform very wisely, which will give you the big benefit. Even if you are appointing, if you are looking, if you are seeking new distributors through LinkedIn, through Google, you can identify new business partner, new customers. Political risk. Friends, when you are doing business in any country, you need to understand the political situation, whether the country is political stable, whether the country is not stable politically. Well, you may ask me why it is very important, why it matters. Because as I told you, 80% is a tender business. Tender business means government pays to the business partner, government pays to the patients. So if government is not supporting your healthcare system, how you are going to do business? If government is not paying on time, how your distributor is going to purchase from you? So the political stability is very important when you are doing business internationally. The next is global trade shift. During your conferences visit, you need to understand the trend, what they are doing, on what product they are focusing, on what category they are focusing, whether they are focusing on the coronary business, whether they are focusing on the structural business, whether they are focusing on the or what kind of software they are implementing in the medical device industry. So you need to understand the global shift during your trade show, during your conferences visit. Honesty is very important when it comes to the international business, because overcommitting, telling lie, or making some false commitment, you cannot run international business. You will have to face very major consequences if you are not maintaining honesty. Diversify customer base. That what I mean is that if you are, once you got successful, for example, let's say cardiology business, at the same time you need to diversify your business. You can diversify with the orthopedic, you can diversify with the endosurgery, you can diversify with the brain or carotid artery business. So you need to diversify your business once you get the success in particular vertical. Once you get the successful in one vertical, you can shift to another vertical. Understand the payment risk. Friends, most of company work on advance payment, but if you are not working on advance payment, you need to understand the payment risk, because I have seen some of countries face some financial crisis, and there you may lose your payment. You may get stuck due to the country's financial instability. The next is offer custom solution. That means every country will have different business dynamics. The one particular solution may not suit for all country. That means Eastern European will have different need, whereas West European will have different need. So understand the country wise customer need and customize the solution country wise. The next is global brand image. Build global brand image. Should be uniform, should be same, should not be confusing, should be simple, should be scientifically strong, should have some meaningful taglines, some meaningful technical specification, and be consistent while you are making presentation, while building brand reputation, brand equity, while participating in conferences, while any CRM activities, while hospital visit, while doctor visit, while your sales presentation to the distributor. It has to be uniform, it has to be simple, it has to be meaningful. So by doing that, you are building the brand equity of your product. Know the local labor laws. If you are appointing local employees, in that situation you need to understand their laws, because every country will have different labor laws when it comes to the hiring, when it comes to the firing, when it comes to the holidays, when it comes to the human resource HR rules, human resource rule, when it comes to the insurance policy, when it comes to the family insurance policy. So you need to understand the local labor rule when you are opening new franchisee, if you are opening new office, if you are hiring new people in that particular country. The next is training and the development to the distribution people. As I told you, as a manufacturer, I know my product well, so you need to train, you need to develop the distribution people, because they are going to visit the end user. The next is trade agreement. Leverage the free trade agreement. Recently you might have heard that we India and UK has a free trade agreement. So utilize that, understand the rules and the regulation of that particular free trade agreement, and take advantage of that free trade agreement. Know your competition. Friends, if you see medical device point of view, any given country you will have 30 to 35 competitors. So you need to understand the competition, what they are doing, what products they are launching, what quality they are offering, what pricing they are offering to the customer, what service they are offering to the customer, what type of new products they are launching in the market, what type of CRM activities they are doing, what type of trade show they are doing. So you need to understand your competitors very well, and depend upon that you can develop your strategy, go to market strategy. Maintain ethical business practice. Unethical will not work for long term. If you are working unethically, within a few months, within a few weeks, the unethical practice will get spread. Everyone will get, everyone will talk about unethical practice, and you will get banned in that particular country. So avoid unethical practice when it comes to the international business. Unethical export, unethical documentation, unethical pricing, unethical business practice, unethical appointing of the your business partner, everything unethical will have big consequences. So avoid that unethical business practices. Manage global inventory smartly. If you are having warehouse, let's say in the Europe, if you are having warehouse in, let's say, in the USA, so you need to understand daily how much stocks you are exporting, how much stock you are selling, how much stock is going out, and how much inventory that particular warehouse has. Because once you get expired stock return, then it may have huge consequences. The next is multi-currency invoicing system. Not multi-currency, because we work only on two currency majorly, US and Euro. So the local business partner need to understand the local currency fluctuation. CRM system is that means the customer relationship management, because if you're not managing your end user, if you are working only on the business partner, that means your business partner may change you, or may go to the another competitor company, just because your competitor company may offering less pricing. So you need to understand, you need to develop the relation with the end user by doing customer relationship management activities. The second part is that language. You need to understand the language, local language. I'm not saying that you become a fluent in that particular language, but understand the basics of that language, because every time you are not speaking with English, or you are not meeting the expert. You need to travel, you need to hire the taxi, you need to go to the restaurant, you need to go catch the flight, you need to check in the hotel. So you need to understand the basics of that particular language, and by doing that you can run the show. The next is, friends, understand Incoterm. Incoterms, that means to put it simply, if you are exporting any shipment, if you are exporting any package to internationally, there are some Incoterms. For example, the first Incoterm is that, because Incoterms contain, because this shipment or this package contain insurance, this package contain transportation, that means courier, this package contain custom charges, custom taxes. So there are majorly three Incoterms when it comes to the international business is concerned, or it has only three Incoterms. The first is X work. That means the package is ready at your warehouse. Your business partner will take that package. So during this process, your business partner will pay the insurance, your business partner will pay the Indian custom, and that particular, that third that destination country custom. Also your business partner will take care of the transportation. That is the X work. That means the package is ready, your business partner will take that package to their warehouse. The second is FOB. That means freed on board. You are responsible till your airport. For example, I am responsible till my Indian airport. So I will take care of the Indian custom, Indian transportation, and that's it. Once I load the shipment on the board, on the flight, there my responsibility finishes. That's a freed on board, FOB. The third one is the CIF. CIF means cost, insurance, and the freight. So I am responsible for till their destination airport. I will pay the Indian custom, I will pay the Indian insurance, I will pay the Indian transportation, till their airport transportation, till their airport insurance. Once the shipment reaches to their airport, let's say if I'm sending my shipment to, let's say, France, so till Paris I'm responsible. Once the shipment reaches at the Paris, that particular business partner will pay the local taxes and will take shipment to their warehouse. Simple. This is a simple explanation. I cannot explain more simpler than this. The next is invest in the local talent. If your business is huge, if you are having let's say 1 million, $2 million dollar business, so try to appoint one or two local people. By doing that, that particular country will not feel, okay, I'm importing from third world country. You will have some local touch. Also, while because most of country, 80% of countries business run on their local languages, so it will help you to generate more business. Social CSR is also very important, corporate social responsibility, because every country's corporate social responsibility is different, is very sensitive issue. So you need to understand their CSR, and depend upon that you should develop your strategy. So friends, these are some very important points which I thought is very important when it comes to the international business. I hope you will like this video, and if I miss anything, feel free to comments in the comments box. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next video.